Hello again. I did not post anything yesterday. I just didn't have a chance to, um, get by myself where I could make a video. I had a Bunkabacher host yesterday, and this lady was amazing. I was in Benson, Arizona, and I think she's the only one there. I don't know if she would want me to use her name or not, so I'm not going to name her, but she's a fabulous lady. If you are going through Benson, Arizona, and you need a place to stay, I think, like I said, she was the only one there. Good food, good company. Just, I loved her. Loved her. So, before last night, I left Gallup, New Mexico. Is it Gallup? I can't remember. I think so. And then I rode to west until I hit 191. And I took 191 in Arizona all the way down to Clifton, Arizona. So the first part of 191 was like you would think of for Arizona. It took you down through Monument Valley and that kind of thing. So you had those classic Arizona mesas and the red rocks and all that cool stuff. And then we got down to where it was in the mountains and it was forested. And so I have ridden in Texas the Three Sisters. In Tennessee, I've ridden the Dragon. I've ridden the $1 Million Highway a couple of times. I mean, I've been on some really nice roads. This one, I think it was called the Coronado Trail. If you ever get a chance to do that ride down 191 in through the mountains, and it, like I said, it ends you in Clifton, do it. It's a bucket ride, and I don't know why people don't talk about it more. I don't know exactly how long it is as far as mileage, but it took me a couple of hours to get it done. And I saw many deer. And I had already made arrangements with my Bunkabacher host to be at her house yesterday. Otherwise, there were no less than probably 10 or 12 really good places to set up a camp. One of them in particular was right towards the southern end, and it was just right off the road. And other than there was a couple of motorcycles and like one car, and that's all the traffic that there was. And granted, I was there on, what was it, a Monday night or Monday, whatever. I don't know, it may pick up on the weekends as far as traffic and whatever, but I'm telling you, it was a legit place to camp. It really was. Other than, make sure you take water, because there was not a water source at any of those places that I stopped to camp. Or not that I stopped, but that I saw that you could have stopped to camp. So I'd started off, like I said, in New Mexico, in the desert, went through the mountains. It was gorgeous. And I was all in a great mood, and I was like, oh, this is the life, this is why I'm traveling, to be able to see stuff like this. And people, if you have never been to Clifton, Arizona, look it up on Google Maps. It was the most gut-wrenching thing I've seen in a long time. Clifton is a mining town. They have a big copper mine there. And if you don't know what a copper mine looks like, I'm telling you, you could probably see this thing from space. you come out of the mountains and the trees, and then all of a sudden it's like, why is everything bald? It just looked like, you know, like when your kids are playing with the little Tonka toy trucks and they just pile up, you know, dirt and stuff in a big pile. It's kind of what it looked like, but it was obvious that it's not that they're piling stuff up, it's they're stripping the mountain. And I say mountain, it's mountains. It was crazy. And so you go past this mountain range, and you're going through the mountain range just like you did when it was forested, except there's nothing but those big old huge trucks carrying God only knows how many tons of rock and stuff, you know, trying to get the copper. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And it's really sad that they're tearing up that much pristine mountainside for copper. I mean, I understand that we need copper and all that, but it's just, when I was riding through it, with the magnitude of it, I know that this is a small mine compared to some of the other ones that I have seen and that I know about. And when I was riding through there, it made me think about, well, what about these lithium mines and stuff where people are getting, you know, the lithium and stuff to make the batteries? It's 50 times worse. And just, you know, you can think what you want, and I'm not going to judge anybody. This is just my thoughts. But it was like, how is this green when you're having to strip all the vegetation? There's no wildlife that can live there. It's dead earth. It's dead earth for copper or for lithium or for whatever else. In Colorado, especially when I had my Jeep in Colorado, there were several places where you could go and like go to the old mining towns that were abandoned and stuff. And if you've ever been to any of those places, you know, like the mountains are just littered with the old buildings and the old machinery, and where they have blasted into the gold and silver mines and just thrown the shale, or it's not shale. I guess it might be shale, whatever it is, where they just, you know, chunk it down the side of the mountain. Even that looks better as far as it being green as this strip mining stuff. I mean, it was just, it really put a damper on my day. Anyway, to get off of that, I got my picture for my Arizona hog challenge coin, and I got it sent in, and I believe I'll have to check back again, but I know everything that I've turned in, with the exception of maybe that one, since I just did it yesterday, has been accepted. So I've got those coming. And I'm sorry, my dog wants to play because she's been on a motorcycle all morning, and she's really good until we get someplace, and then she wants to run her little legs off. So anyway, got out of there and got to my host's house, and I got there early, and I guess it was because the GPS, when I was, you know, getting my ETA for when I told her I was going to be there, did not take into consideration that I went through the mountain instead of around the mountain. So anyway, I was there early. Had a great time. She cooked me a great, fantastic chicken and rice dinner with broccoli, and I'm not really much on broccoli, but that stuff was good. I don't know if it's just that I've been on the road and needed, you know, that kind of food, or if it was just some way that she cooked it, but either way, it was amazing. Got up this morning pretty early for me, And I believe she got a picture of us. I'll have to text her back and ask her to send it to me. Got on my way pretty early because I knew I was going to have a lot of more desert to have to come through today. And I was trying to make it to a second Bunka Biker's house tonight. And by the time noon rolled around, it was over 90 degrees. And I'm going to use the excuse that my dog was too hot. But I think she was fine. I was too hot. And, you know, in my younger days, I probably would have just pressed on. But why? You know, I'm not in any hurry. I don't have to keep going. So I just texted him and let him know that I wasn't going to make it. And I grabbed yet another motel. Because there's, like I said, day after day since I've been on this trip, I've been just moteling it basically, because there's no way for me to camp in this heat. I don't want to camp in this heat, so I'm not going to. Hopefully, like I keep saying, day after day, here in the next day or two, I'll be in a place where I will be able to camp, and I will have my stuff set up, and I will let you guys see, you know, how I set my camp up, what I use, and how cool all my gear is, because I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so that was yesterday. Today, like I said, I just woke up early. I've been riding pretty hard. We didn't really stop at all because I was trying to get to this guy's house before it got too hot. And then he wasn't going to be home until after 3 anyway. So I was like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So anyway, day 8 is more of really no pictures. There was nothing really to see again. Those of you that like the desert and think that the desert is all that and it's beautiful, I agree with you. It has its place, but I'm done with. I'm over it. I'm over desert riding anyway, at least this time of year. That being said, I used to live in Carlsbad, New Mexico, which is also desert, and I loved it, you know, but my gosh, I was 17, 18 years old. I guess I was 18 years old at the time. And all I ever wanted to do was lay out in the sun. And I had a really good tan when I came back to Texas from Carlsbad. Now, what's it been? 40 some odd year, almost 50 years later. Yeah, I'm over the heat. I really am. So I'm going to figure out exactly where I need to go for my 2 challenge coins in California. And I'm thinking at least one of them is going to be kind of a desert type thing that I'm going to have to go to. The other one I think is going to be better. It's called the Palms to Pines route. And that just suggests to me that maybe it's starting off where the palms are, which is basically in the desert portion, and then going to pine trees, which would be elevation, right? Am I thinking right? So, one of them is the place where they held the Japanese, I think it was after Pearl Harbor, and that's the one I think is probably going to be in the desert type thing. The other one is in Idlewild, California, and they're not too terribly far apart, but I just think, I don't know, I think tomorrow should be a pretty good day, and cross my fingers, I'll be camping tomorrow night, and I'll have the opportunity to show you guys my camping gear instead of my motel room. So, how I'm feeling, I finally feel the need to keep going. I don't feel the need to turn around and go home. I've gotten over that, and I know the last time I talked to you guys, I'd had a good day, and I was hoping that it would last because I'd had like a good morning, I think a day or two before that, and it didn't really last. So I think I've got my head wrapped around this trip now, and I'm just going. I'm really looking forward to seeing parts of California, but like I said, I'm also really looking forward to getting away from this desert. So from probably tomorrow, I think it's going to be the last day that I'm just heading straight west for any length of time, and it may not even be that I'm doing that tomorrow. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't got my route going yet, but it should start looking up as far as, you know, the scenery goes. One thing I did see today that I did not know about is I was coming through, I guess it was Saguaro National Park or whatever. I didn't know that saguaro cactuses bloomed, and there were some of them that had like maybe one or two flowers up close to the top, these white flowers. And I don't know if I got here a little early or a little late, but I could see where they're either about to start blooming, where it would just look like a little white crown over all of them, or maybe they have already bloomed and I was just getting the tail end of them. But either way, that was pretty cool. So once again, my weenie, there she is. She's begging for me to play with her. She is just traveling super, super good. She, for her to be as little as she is, and for as many miles as we're putting on every day, and just keep going and going and going, she's really traveling really, really well. I think the method to keep her cool, like I've done for, this is the second day, not in a row, but it's the second day that I've done it, is the bed that she has on my back seat. If I get that wet and then get those bags and fill them full of ice, it's kind of a twofer thing, because I can put those bags of ice, and I'm using 2 of them now instead of 1, but I can put those bags of ice inside her bed because her bed's too big for my back seat, so it kind of makes a taco, you know, like that, and put those bags in the crack part of it, and she has stayed super cool like that. So it's almost like she's got an air conditioner back there. I wish I could do the same thing for myself. My bike, when I went in 23 and it was raining constantly, I was having problems with my bike from the rain. She does not like, I guess, getting her feet wet or whatever, because I was having some problems with it. And then after, you know, everything dried up, no more problems. But with it being a Harley, and with it being as hot as it is, and with it being air cooled, even though I'm riding at speed, you know, like at highway speeds, the motor is just getting so hot, and it's making me so hot because the air's, you know, coming up on me. I'll show you guys this. My pants that I ride in a lot. Can y'all see those holes? That's from the motor getting too hot. I'm not necessarily touching the pipes. And yeah, I know I should be wearing different kind of clothes, but I don't. So yeah, it's so hot that my pants are just melting. But you know, if it's that hot, even, and I've got the vents open, and I've got as much air going across the motor as I possibly can, and it's still getting that hot. It's time to let the poor thing rest, So anyway, it was getting nothing but hotter today. When I quit, it was 92, and I think it's supposed to top at about 100 where I'm at right now. So like I said, I'm just not gonna go any further. So anyway, that was my couple days. I'm feeling good. I don't feel super tired or anything like that. I don't feel sick. I'm not hurting. Oh, I know I was saying that my back was hurting when I was riding, not my butt, but I was talking about that hammock seat. And so I went ahead and checked the air in my back shock. Yeah, there was none. So no wonder my back's hurting. I have no cushion. So yesterday I went ahead, I've got one of those little air pump things, that you pump up your shock with. So I put about 30 pounds of pressure in it, and I guess that was a couple of days ago. And been riding without hurting almost at all, other than I have been taking, like some Tylenol or Aleve or something when I first get started out. Just because I do have a bad back, and I don't want, something like that to make me have to quit. But anyway, that's my last couple days, and you guys, thank you again for coming with me. My dog, she's so cute. I swear, she's the cutest thing ever. Look at her.
What do you want?
Anyway, thank you for coming on this journey with me. I'm sorry for all the crinkling, but she's an awfully good dog all day long. And then when we get someplace where she can get off the motorcycle, she just wants to play and play and play and play and play. So we let her. Yes, we do. We let her. All right, so I will hopefully give you guys another update tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be day after tomorrow for sure. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going to be or who I'm going to be with, if I'm going to be with anybody or camping or moteling it or hosting or whatever. I don't know. But I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Sorry for all the rambling, but talk to you all later. Bye.